back with another episode of The Deliberate Dropout. We got another fun topic here. Lucho, welcome. Glad to be back at it. Today's topic, we're going to talk about jobs you could get today. So I know kind of through some of these different episodes, we talked about, the decision to drop out, your timing, what you did immediately after, and some advice for that. But you brought up a good point in a recent episode about how sometimes it's the stress of, I'm choosing college or I'm choosing to stay in college because what else would I do? I don't know. I don't have a plan. There's no tangible thing I can go do instead.
Yep.
So today's episode is all about what you could do instead. It's jobs you could go get today. Now, these may not be like the most glamorous things or like full-blown career paths, but they're ways for you to go make forward progress, start earning an income, which I think is like, anytime you got a little jingle in your pocket, it's a little bit easier to like have a positive outlook on the world. So Jobs you can do today, start us off. What are some things that, like, if you're the average college student, college dropout, like these are things you could go figure out today if you're willing to go do it?
Yeah, for sure. So like when I look at like how to just go in and just learn something, like your best bet is probably any type of sales job, entry level sales.
Yeah.
There's no hard skill. You don't have to learn how to code. You don't have to know like digital marketing, etc. Least barrier of entry. And like you said, put some money in your pocket, man. Like when I look back, like one of the very first jobs I had, door-to-door mayor campaigning. It sounds really corny, really stupid, but like all of my friends, all of my boys, we were just doing door-to-door campaigning for the mayor. Believe it or not, I learned that, like, even though it sounds like a very simple job, like that fear of rejection goes away. Like everybody has it. It's innate. It definitely goes away. You knock on 100 doors for a mayor campaign and they're the opposite party. Like, trust me, that fear is going to go away. Like hearing no that many times. Waiting tables.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's say you don't want it. Okay. That like door-to-door campaign, that may be a little too extreme, but waiting tables.
Oh
it's
yeah.
a similar concept. Like you're providing a service, and in return, like if you do a hell of a job, you get a good tip. Something like that. I would like go along the line, call center, something like that. Like, just like communication. It's not really like hard skills.
So you just kind of prompted another idea here for me. So I had a couple other jobs in mind, and we'll get to those, but the idea of waiting tables. So here's a little bit of a longer term play for waiting tables.
Yep.
Go start waiting tables, work up to be a bartender, go do that, go hustle your ass off, learn the game, try and build up some regulars, whatever. Then go find the place in the town where you live or city you live in, especially if it's a bigger city, maybe it's a little bit easier. Go find the city where the people who do the thing you're interested in hang out. So where the doctors or the stockbrokers or the lawyers or the real estate, where do they happy hour at?
Yep.
Then go convert your experience to become a bartender and wait tables where those people are hanging out, where you can rub shoulders and maybe like get on a first name basis with some of these people who are already doing, some of the things you're interested in doing. Again, that's probably a little bit longer term play, but it's like there are signs everywhere. Somebody just sent me this. Somebody just sent me an article about this the other day. It's like, went into Olive Garden. There were tables empty everywhere. And she just thought, maybe it's pandemic, whatever, but this is in Florida. So she asked one of the waitresses, she's like, what's going on? Why are half the tables here empty? And she said, it's because we only have 3 people. We only have 3 people working tonight. And she said, we can't keep enough people hired. We are always trying to hire, but like nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to wait tables right now. And it's like, that market is ripe. If you're a college student or dropping out of college, like go to any restaurant right now. They are dying for people to go, just like warm bodies, let alone if you want to work hard.
Yeah. And that's opportunity. Like that's a gold mine of like opportunity. Nobody wants, all right, give me the job. And what's crazy is in my career growth as well, the things nobody wanted to do is where I built the reputation. Nobody likes cold calling. Nobody likes door knocking. But if you build that reputation and you make an identity, like I'll do the dirty work, fam. Like, you will excel in your career. And like, to your point, if you just start in the longer term plan, if you start like you start networking, you start getting on a first name basis with certain people, and you have that reputation, like it's a wrap. You have to grow. You have, like, you're not going to do that forever.
Yeah. Yep. Another job that I like, and this you just kind of inspired me about this too, is like jobs people don't want, is like bagging groceries. This was one of my very first jobs, right when I got my license. You know, I worked at a grocery store for a couple of years in high school. I loved it. Still one of my, like, I love grocery stores. One of my favorite jobs. But like when I think back to the average person working a grocery store job, you know, like average teenager, a lot of them just had bad attitudes. They felt like they had to be there. It was school for them. You know, like I got to be here, but at least I'm earning money. But for me, I wasn't trying to be like a brown nose or anything like that. I was just like, this is fun. I like working. And I just remember being like bagging groceries is becoming a game where it's like, I got to bag groceries perfectly. Like, this is, how can we make this efficient? And like turn it into a game where it's like, I don't want people ever waiting in line at the station I'm bagging groceries in. And you turn it into a game and you start having fun. And it's that kind of like, have a good attitude and invest yourself in what you're doing. And suddenly you've turned you're going to create opportunities for yourself. Like, that's how I got, you know, promoted in the grocery store several times early on when I was like 16, 17 years old. This isn't, you know, pat myself on the back or whatever, but it's using the opportunities that are within reach. Using those, because that's the tools that you got. Take advantage of those and go make the most of them. You never know what's on the other side of that. If you go and give it an A+ effort, instead of just like, yeah, well, I'm dropping out of college, I got to get a job because I got to pay the bills. I don't want to work at Starbucks, but that's the job I got. And so I'm going to be mean to all these people that, you know, before 8 a.m. that haven't had their coffee. Like, you can turn this into an awesome experience, or you can, you know, make it a negative experience. But I think that you are going to have a better shot of getting clarity or figuring out what you want if you go out with this like optimistic attitude about like, hey,
absolutely,
there are opportunities everywhere. If only I'm willing to, like, you know, get my hands dirty, if only I'm willing to work hard. And like that type of mentality is going to serve you so much better for the rest of your career, regardless what you do.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Like, at the end of the day, bagging groceries, not a lot of people would have a positive outlook on that. But in your case, you did like what most people have a shitty outlook on. You did, like, you had like the attitude was there. You turned into a game. You got promoted. Like, you created the identity. Like, I will do like the boring, dirty, like I will make it, like I will put all my effort into that. And to be honest, when we look at a macro point of view now, whether like you're in corporate, whether you're in real estate, etc., if you have that attitude, like I will make sure all the smoke inspections for the properties closing get done. Like, you need that attitude, bro. Like, it's so important.
Oh man, I'm going to tell one more story about this too, because again, like, don't want to stray too far from the point. It's like there are opportunities everywhere, especially if you got your eyes open. But I remember this story from early on in my career. So there was this, you know, this young kid working for our company, and you know, he seemed to always get frustrated. Like, he'd get asked to take out the trash. And, you know, part of it was like, you're the new kid on the block, but also like you're the youngest person and your time is worth the least amount of money. And like, something that I remember, I worked directly for the CEO, and I remember him telling me this story, you know, early on. It was kind of this same thing was going on in the background. And it was like, what the average employee doesn't see, especially when a small and growing business, is that if like that young person on the totem pole, if they don't do it, they're not the one taking out the trash. If they're not the one like plunging the toilets when somebody is, you know, being an idiot, you know who's is doing it? The CEO.
Yeah.
And it's like, those are opportunities. Go find yourself, like, go find a small business owner that just is swarmed. He's busy. He needs some help, and just go be valuable to that person. That's where the opportunities are, is like, instead of looking begrudgingly out at like, hey, I have to get a job. It's like, hey, I want to leave college. What's the best opportunity within my reach right now? Where can I be valuable? Who needs help? Who needs a problem solved that I have the tools today to go solve? That's the mindset, I think, that will like it won't just set you up for like a short-term win. Like that's what's going to open long-term doors for you.
Yeah, for sure. And back to an earlier point, I know we talked about clarity in a different episode. Like, even if you don't have that clarity, like losing yourself in the service of others, like that's how you get clarity. Like this all goes back. Like, okay, you might not want to take the trash, you might not want to do all the dirty work, but if you are willing to lose yourself, you need clarity. So you're not really losing anything, to be honest, if you're building your career. But if you're willing to lose yourself in the service of others and just get rid of all the details, you will find clarity. Like it's inevitable. That's just how life works.
I love that so much. It reminds me early in my career, and this is kind of a reflection that I've had over the years, looking back on my careers, is that early on, it was kind of like my dream job at that time and point in my career. And it's one of the kind of like defining ones. It was working directly for the CEO, fast growing, early stage startup, growing fast. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I knew, hey, I think I want to start a business or run a business someday. I think I want to be an entrepreneur. I had no idea what business, no idea what.
It was just an instinct. It was just an instinct.
And I was like, I don't even know really what I'm good at. I have some experience. They're kind of like scattered all over. I don't have a ton of like really valuable skills. But what I know now, looking back on that instance, that I would give advice to young people is like, I wanted to work for that CEO because he had such a clear vision of what he wanted to build.
Yes.
And for me, looking back on that, what I realized is like, it's okay to borrow someone else's vision until you have your own. And in fact, like I became so invested in his vision. It was like, I want to build this company. I want to be part of that it kind of absorbed me for a while until I kind of the dots started connecting for me, where it's like, it's okay. Cut yourself some slack if you don't have the perfect vision figured out. Find somebody else who has a vision, who you can help them get closer to theirs, and they are going to pave the way for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is so key. Like I was talking to Mark Bush. I know he's on Praxis sometimes. Like he's big on that. Like if you can't be a leader if you're not a loyal follower, or if you don't learn how to follow. Like people take followership like I'm just part of a machine, or I'm not independent. No, like if you learn how to follow a leader with a vision, the key thing is like follow somebody with a vision you respect and that can help you. If you could learn how to follow, you will become a great leader. So that's what, like, there's nothing wrong with following somebody else. People take that the wrong way. Like there is a leader, a true leader sees them, like when they're following, they see themselves as a leader in that moment, but they're they're committed to a vision and something bigger than themselves.
Yep. So I'm going to close out with a quote. I don't remember who this is. I think maybe like an Abraham Lincoln quote, or whoever is popularly attributed to. But it's whatever you are, be a good one. And it's like, just go find something to do, some way to be productive. Like there's something about like sweating and laboring and earning money and working those first jobs that just kind of like, they are kind of tough jobs that will give you a better outlook on life or will motivate you. And again, whatever it is, whatever you are, be a good one. Go give it an A+ effort and like see what kind of opportunities open up for you as a result of like hustling, especially in a role that everybody else's disposition is just like, I don't want to be here. I have to be here. What other closing thoughts? Any other closing thoughts?
I'm just gonna agree to that point. In the micro, in the moment, you're gonna hate your life. And this is from me. Like sometimes I didn't want to make $1,000 a day. That it sucks. You hear no so many times. People don't answer. But when I do look back now, I'm like, damn, that was the most fundamental moment in building my career and where I'm headed right now. Nothing but you're preaching facts. So that's all I got to say.
Love it. Love it. Thanks again for listening to another episode of The Deliberate Dropout. If you're on your favorite podcast platform on Apple, iTunes, leave us a 5-star review. Let us know how we're doing. If you're enjoying the content, if you're on YouTube, drop us a comment on this episode. Let us know what you think. And we'll be back again with another episode soon. Thanks for listening as always.